go on my own. I'm going to go try around this valley here that we saw yesterday, down to that village down there. I'll go around. You can see a road snaking across there. I'm going to go try down that dirt road all the way around back down that valley. There's a fella doing deliveries there with the stuff, and the guy coming up the mountain with the mule. I'm going to try and go down that valley on my own, come back all that dirt road all the way back to the town that Asni. I have about 2/3 of a tank of petrol. I've got 3 litres of water too, which is in a bag on my back, and I've got 2 Mars bars. And that's my lot for today. I'm at the top of the 2 valleys now. Road got a bit hairy back there, quite muddy, and I had to go through, well, I'd call it a river, but the bike went completely sideways, and I made the mistake of putting my foot down, but I got through it. But for a minute I thought I was going over the edge, and I was only going 2 miles an hour. So let's see what happens next. Hopefully the road will get better. So the bike is cooling itself down. You can hear the fan there. That's the village I've been through. So I've been right around that valley the whole way. I started up there where I was having the coke, came right around that valley, and the road started getting really hairy, mud and rivers and little streams all the way down there. And very slow. I had to walk it across at one stage. Well, go very slowly. Hopefully it'll get better down here, but this muck, which is not my friend, the tires aren't great for muck on this. I'm going to have a go right down below. You can see a village, and they've got irrigation trenches everywhere around here. So they don't have a footpath, but they'll dig an irrigation trench that'll be covered up. That'll bring them water and irrigate the land. Every single village seems to have it. So that's basic infrastructure. You don't really have electricity too often in the winter, but you'll get that. So this is quite typical when you come down a mountain. You get into a corner of a ravine and there's a little river going through. This is small, I'm not worried about it. I'm just watching around the corner. There's a lot of water running on the road and it's very narrow, so just watch it don't slip, because my tyres here are actually, they look a bit knobbly, but they're really semi-knobbly, half on-road, half off-road, which are actually really poor in the wet. And so I need to just be careful. What I need to do is look very carefully, keep my head up, look where I want to go, and I'll go where I'm looking. First gear, up off the pegs, turning the bike different as you would on the road, but it should be fine. Up the mountain they go. This is steep. Now all of a sudden the sun is baking me. Gonna open the vents, the air vents on these new trousers I got down here. And then look at this valley and look at the road goes. There's the road I'm on, and this is out of a town with loads and loads of houses. How do these people survive on roads like that? Look at it going down there, look at the aqueduct down at the bottom, and look at all the goats over there on the hill climbing higher and higher for something to eat. They live in the village at night in case they get stolen, and then they climb up the vertical faces in the morning. Okay, gotta keep going now. We've got my water here, 2 Mars bars still intact, and the fuel gauge is saying like a third of a tank to a half of a tank. It's not really clear, so, but I think I'm okay, because I'm looking at my clock and it says I've only done about 70 kilometers since the last fill. Even though it's nearly all in first gear, I should be okay. Now around the corner comes the local transport, which is the reliable Mercedes van, or also the transit van is reliable, but the Mercedes are always the best. They'll go anywhere. So this will be a local van taking produce and people and whatever needs. Assalamu alaikum. Whatever needs taken all the way back up. Assalamu alaikum. All the way to the village. That's how they get around. I'd say that's a 2-wheel drive. They can do 2-wheel drives around here. They're tougher than me. What am I wearing and what do I pack? This is a very light Honda. So I've got my helmet for 120 quid from home. The jacket I wear to work. It's got elbow and shoulder protection to some extent. New trousers with shin and well protection. They're very much warm weather, cold weather clothes for Ireland. And then I got one of these little Aldi bags, and I've wrapped everything up tight in that, and I've bunged it down with bungee cord, so it's actually quite neat. And I've got this map bag, which is just like a bag that some curtains came in or something. On the front I've got a little Tour Tech bag that I keep my GoPro holders and my compass in it. Interestingly, I haven't had to use the compass very much yet, but there was a couple of times, and it's important to have it. think. Not much else. At the moment I don't need many in the line of maps because I'm asking the locals where to go. I could use GPS on Google's map. Well, Google Maps didn't work, nor did Air's roaming. So we got local SIM card in Morocco, and we've got Waze, W-A-Z-E for maps, but also maps.me is good for Morocco as well, I believe. So far the bike's going well. I better keep going, see what's happening. School bus, and I had to go through this. So let's go through this now. I'm going to turn off the camera, I think. Looks like not only have I just come down this, which was pretty ropey, but thanks YouTube for teaching me how to ride off-road. But I have to go along here, and then I have to come down to the bottom of this valley, and then up that one over there. Do you see that snaking one up there? And looks like I'm going to have to go right up over the top of that. I hope not. Anyway, having to go over that hill, I came down, there was a fork in the road, and I asked a lady in the towns are dirty and full of plastic. The people are very friendly. Obviously I won't film them. And I'm on this road now. The guy says it's 5 something to Asni, so it's not so bad. I asked a couple of people just to be sure. So I'm just going down this stony road, but it's fine. Getting a little bit tired. I ate half my Mars bar. I'm sucking away on my my water tube here, having a great time, and things are going well. The bike's pretty hot, but it's doing fine. And I think, I'm not sure where I'll end up. I think I gotta go this direction here, which is along this road. Now I hear something coming, so let's see what happens. Salam. Assalamu alaikum. Salam. Back at the tarmac, which is great. I think that's the town of Asni down there, A-S-N-I, and we've got to cross the river. Traffic's going a bit faster now, so I got to be a little more careful. There was a big Mercedes bus coming at me there on the road, but he expected me to go into the margins, which is my job because I'm on the little bike. But I didn't really remember that too fast, so I just need to watch myself around these bends. Enjoy the ride. I've got my ventilation open, cooling down. A lot of trouble with my baggage slipping off back there, and it's got a bit tricky, but all in all it's been a fantastic little excursion. Don't know how long it took. Probably no more than 40 kilometers. I'll figure it out later. Donkeys, and we've got lots of children everywhere we go. Assalamu alaikum. And lots of children. And they come out. They come. Assalamu alaikum. Hope I'm going the right way. Assalamu alaikum. And schoolboys and schoolboys. I think I'll put away the camera now and try and get my hands back in the handlebars. So it's market day in Asni. See what's going on here. Just finding my way around Asni on market day. Everybody's been talking about it. Well, not everybody. I've only met a few locals. Find some fuel. I got to figure out how much of the local money I got left. So I spend it on food or on fuel, because I think I'm a little bit short, but I have euros, so I shouldn't be too stuck. Bank is closed today, so we'll see what happens. So I'm back in Asni, and we're going to get some food. It's only 10 dirhams or $1 for chips and a sandwich. Yesterday came up here and the guy charged me like $1.50 for some terrible stew, which I shouldn't have bought. A lot of stuff washed off the mountain in the rain the other day. Kind of hard to keep all this up. This is what I came here for. What do you think? Can't beat that, eh?